Warning, the following audio transmission is based on theory and is intended for entertainment purposes only. It's Doomsday and its affiliates will not be held liable for anything your dumbass does. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everybody, to It's Doomsday podcast. Today is June 1st, 2026, and joining me today is Local Prepper. What's going on?
Just another day. Making videos, telling people off, preparing for the apocalypse.
For the apocalypse. People are too sensitive, man. I bet they can't handle it.
Yeah, they can. I've been a little bit more touchy-feely lately, and I actually had some guy tell me that, who edited your video? Your grandma? And I was like, oh, okay, well, they're not happy with, if you make it too hard, or they're not happy if you make it too soft, and you got to make it just right for their delicate sensibilities. They're Gen Z and above sensibilities.
Oh my God. Yeah. People they're getting way too soft, and we're in for hard times, man. So that's why it's important that people listen to the It's Doomsday podcast so we can get you prepared for come whatever may, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a good thing. Also, everybody out there, if you haven't yet, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Send us an email. It's doomsdaypodcast@gmail.com. And while you're at it, I have another show. It's called the DaILYSHOW. So check that out on all your podcast platforms as well. I don't promote it over here enough, you know.
No, and you should. It's a pretty good show. It's a pretty good show. I listen to it about once a year.
That's good. So you've heard it once.
Yes, just once. Yeah, give it another try. 2027.
So I've had my brain has been hyper fixated on camping, campground, all these camping related things. So I thought that we should use this current hyper fixation I got on today's show. Okay, and my thought process was, over the years you pick things up with the camping. Right? Like you pick up little skills, you pick up little tricks, little ways to do things. And I figured, why not incorporate that in a show? Because bugging out and going into the middle of the woods to hide from danger or escape the man or whatever it is that you're doing falls really in line with just freaking camping. Right?
True. It's basically combative camping.
Combative camping. You should trademark that.
TM, mofo, TM.
So over the years, going to different campgrounds and spending time in the woods, I've discovered a lot of little interesting things over the years, right? And things that I found out that do not make sense to take, right? And we'll start with one, and I think this is the one everybody's going to give me the most flack over, but I find if you're actually truly going hiking, tent camping, things like this, bringing a book to read is something to me that goes right out the fucking window. Who's reading books campfire side? Is anybody really doing that?
Yeah, you don't know how many books. I used to really be big into hiking, Appalachian Trail, kind of stuff like that. And if you... They have a put and take bin, it's like a box. They put it outside of all the REIs on the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? And that thing is full of books. It's full of books, probably about halfway. And you have to ask yourself, did this guy, did somebody, did he finally finish the book? And,
no.
Or did he just yeah, I'm done carrying this extra 1.5 pounds.
Right, and that's the main thing. So it's you got to think, the only time you really have downtime when you're camping is typically in the evenings, right? You're not gathering firewood, you're not cooking, you're not doing any campground maintenance. That's when you have the time. All right. But there's an
Yeah.
issue. You don't have lighting. So you're using a headlamp, you're using a flashlight, and you're burning up batteries for the purpose of this book that was something extra you didn't need to carry in.
Yeah.
Right. So I learned pretty early on that you don't bring books unless it's a requirement for the camping trip. Right.
Yeah. It really has a lot to do with, like, if you're going hiking and you bring a book, well, you're a retard. You're not going to stop anywhere and go, oh, this is a great spot to read 12 pages out of this novel. That's not what's going to happen. You're going to be like trying to air your feet out, change your socks, drink some water, maybe find some water. You're not going to be doing any of that. The only thing a book is good for to a backpacker is kindling.
Right. So that was the first one I had to go with, because there's this, I feel like there's this envisionment of, like, you see like ads for camping and stuff. It's always like these people sitting in a tent reading a book, and it's like, you're not doing that shit.
You're sleeping. If you're in a tent, you're sleeping.
Right. Because being in a tent during the daytime is just not fun.
No.
Okay. It's just not. It's hot. It's sticky. There's bugs flying around and they're landing on you. It's not a great time. Something I did start doing over the years, something I did learn is, and when I was a kid, this really wasn't a thing. And if it was, I didn't know about it yet. But combination products, okay? Combination products, things like bug spray and sunscreen in one. It's absolutely amazing, because if you're not showering anyway in the woods, you're putting that layer on in the morning for the sun, and then it's preventing you from getting bit by the bugs later in the evening. Mm-hmm. And then it's really easy to reapply, and you're protecting yourself from the buggos and the sun, right? So combination item, you only carry one, it's great. And that kind of goes into multiple avenues with the combination products, right? You're not going camping and taking shampoo, conditioner, body soap, and like all of these other random things. So I learned pretty quick, buy the combo products, buy the 3-in-1 of something, right? And remember, when you go camping, especially if you're backpacking, think like you're packing for the airplane. Small bottles of everything. Less weight means you go farther with more energy when you get there. Okay, so that's something. Something else I've X'd totally from taking camping is any handsaws. I won't do it. I see a lot of these guys with like the little pruning saws or the foldable saws or things like that. If I'm getting shit to break it, I'm typically using a machete, and I'm not splitting stuff either. If I have to, I'll baton with a machete, but I won't even carry a hatchet anymore, because it's so much added ridiculous weight that you don't need whenever you're building these fires. Burn things in half. Learn how to use an Indian saw. Do you know what an Indian saw is?
No, I've never heard of an Indian saw before.
Okay, so I don't know what other people call these, but in the era that I grew up in, and the people we hung out with, and maybe it was a geographical thing because we had a lot of Native American history in my area, you find two trees that are close enough together to where you can gain leverage on a log to snap it in half. And we refer to these as Indian saws, right? So if you need to break down timber, you can do so within the elements around you. Like, you can do that, right?
Yeah.
So the idea of needing to take a saw, just not a thing, right?
Yeah. I guess it really depends on, I carried.
You're the saw guy, aren't you?
Well,
you take the saw.
I do take the saw, but I take a high quality, low weight saw. And because when you're dealing with that kind of stuff, it's either going to be the difference between a hatchet or a saw. And you're going to get more work out of a saw. Now, I know people that will carry a hatchet and then they think that the saw that's on their pocket knife is going to get the job done. And in some cases, hold on a second. In some cases, that can actually do it. I was listening to a podcast the other day where this guy, one of the winners of that show Alone, one of his items was a Leatherman with a saw on it. And he also took a hatchet. And, he also took a full-size saw, and he said that the one thing he didn't want, if he had to drop any one thing, it would have been that saw, because he had a little saw on his Leatherman, and he was completely happy with it. So I think it's when it comes to the saw, like, I do carry the saw, and the reason I carry the saw is because I carried in the military for years, and it is super lightweight, but also you're not going to catch me with like a silky 32-inch boomerang, throw into the wind type of saw. It's not going to be this huge thing that's sticking out of my pack. It's just going to be a little bitty pruning saw that's of high quality, because I'm probably only going to use it a few times. It's only got to work a few times, and I'm not going to be cutting down giant trees and splitting wood. I'm going to be cutting down things that are, probably wrist size at the most.
Right, but it's also, I look at it like this: the main purpose of the saw, you've got two functions with it in the realm of camping. Okay, it's either to make firewood or remove nuisance things like a low tree limb that may be cutting off the path to your tent. Or maybe you found a place to set up a tent and there's one sapling that's got to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when you're going to deploy that saw and use it. I can do all these things with a machete and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? And then it doubles down as a weapon if I need it to.
Yeah. Have you ever hit somebody with a saw before?
Have I ever hit? Actually, yes.
It's a weapon.
Well, no, yes, it can be.
It's a weapon. But so the other reason too is a lot of times when I go camping, I'll just do tarp camping.
Mm-hmm.
And I will use the saw to cut down saplings to help construct my protection from the elements, for lack of better words. I don't carry a tent.
So it looks like a homeless encampment whenever you're camping.
Dude, that's a story. That's actually a story. I'm not joking. That's actually a story. Even when I was like,
is this a separate episode story? Like, did someone call the cops? Like, do we have a whole thing to unpack here or what?
No, it's not that big. When I was car camping, I used to car camp. I love to car camp.
Oh my God, you were homeless.
Yeah, that's what they would do. They would like 3,000 to 4,000 people are in the chat and it's scrolling as fast as possible. And then someone would go, "Are you homeless?" And the chat would freeze, waiting for me to respond.
This was back when you were going to the property. I used to watch those lives.
Yeah.
When I saw your hobo setup.
Dude, that's an awesome setup. I had a refrigerator. I have a cooler that has a radio in it.
Whoa.
Yes.
You are the most high-tech transient ever.
Not at all, man. Nobody listens to radios anymore. Most kids don't even know what a radio is.
Mm. So on that note, you did say something, and it's something that I won't go camping without as a tarp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of huge. I mean, even it's always amazing some of the things that break down from that directly translate from the military into the civilian community. Poncho. A poncho is part of your field gear. You take it with you wherever you go. The worst case scenario, it starts to rain. You cover your pack up so that everything in your pack doesn't get soaked. But you can make a shelter out of it. I have another story.
Oh man.
My very first cold weather operation. I got up to take a piss and I grabbed we called it deuce gear, but basically it's a harness. It's got canteens and a little butt pack on it full of survival gear and stuff. And I grabbed that and I grabbed my rifle, and I was working in an area where light discipline was huge. So everything was blacked out. And I walked what I thought was about 30 steps in one direction. I figure I'm going to just do that. I'm going to do my business, and then I'm going to do an about face, 180 degrees, and walk straight back. Well, that didn't work out. And this is wintertime. Snow's on the ground, snow's in the trees. It's a winter wonderland. So I literally just made a survival sleeping bag out of a poncho liner, a poncho, and one of those survival blankets, the metal ones.
Right.
And it snowed that night, so I literally disappeared. People were out looking for me in halfway through the night. They had to call it. And then I woke up in the morning, I uncovered myself and I grabbed my stuff and I saw where everybody was. I was like 100 yards from everybody else. And they were so pissed at me. But
I'm sure.
A poncho or a tarp, but ponchos are better. Unless you need something bigger, get a tarp.
Right. Well, so it's mainly for the idea of the unexpected. You get caught in a heavy rain, your tent gets compromised, whatever, you have a backup solution. Mm-hmm. And when we were kids, a lot of the time we didn't take a tent either. We would just take sleeping bags and a tarp, and if it rained, we just pulled the tarp over us.
Dude, the last time I used to be part of a mag in Western Virginia, and that's how it was like 10 below that night. We were on a ridge line, and I was tarp camping.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
it's actually what I prefer.
Right. So something else, just to keep on the theme of, do's and don'ts and whatnot. So when I was younger, rope was huge in the camping community. You always had some rope. You never know what to do with it. And I started to find myself just taking rope for no intended purpose. Mm-hmm. Right. But then I opted to start taking paracord. And let me tell you, the uses you run into with paracord, it's actually usable. Whether it's shelter making, whether it's replacing your bootlaces, whatever it is, I found paracord to be an invaluable piece of equipment to take with you in any camping scenario. Right?
Yeah, 100%. You can go to Walmart. No, I don't work there, Alan. That's my catchphrase. And everybody thinks every video I have, I'm in Walmart in some way. So everybody thinks I work there. Anyway,
I mean, you do look like a kind of sketchy Walmart employee, so I could see that.
Yeah. I couldn't be a door greeter, man. I'd be like, "What do you got in the bag?"
No, you'd be the guy in the back. You'd be like the guy that hangs out around the pharmacy too much, like stocking the nutrition bars and shit.
You know way too much about Walmart people.
But no, I mean, paracord's available everywhere, not just Walmart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's just it.
Everybody's got it.
So they make, there's paracord out there, and they actually sell it at Walmart. A lot of people don't know this. Like, if you go to the camping section, you can get like a spool of paracord for like $12.
Right, but you can also get it in the hardware section cheaper.
No, you can get it even cheaper if you go to the automotive section, where they have all the tie downs and clips and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you can get like 500 yards of paracord for like $3.
No shit.
And I mean, it's not 550 cord, it's paracord. Well, technically it's the same thing, but it's not rated for 550 pounds. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same thing. And honestly, I've moved away from paracord. I use bank line for everything when I go camping.
I don't even know what that is.
Number 36 bank line. It's waxed. It's braided, and braided is the strongest, but you can buy it on Amazon like it's cool. I don't think they sell it. They sell some of it at Walmart, but they call it a trout line, and it's green. It's bright green. But you can order like number 36 bank line. It's strong enough to hold up a tent. It's strong enough to rebuild things. It's strong enough to build wooden structures with. It's pretty awesome stuff. And it's super light, and it takes up even less space than paracord.
I might have to look into this. I'm seeing it.
Yeah. And
I'm looking online right now, and I don't work here, but I'm seeing that they sell something comparable at Harbor Freight, and they're calling it pulling line.
I believe it.
Yeah, so maybe I'll look into that. I'll check that out. But anyway, so the idea of the tarps, the paracord, it's a great system. But then also, this allows repairs. And on the note of repairs, something that I will take that you may think is a useless tool, I will take a multi-tool.
Yeah.
Okay. And you find yourself a lot, like, not for the little saw that's in there, but for an easily controllable knife blade, for a set of pliers, because those can come in handy for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And I found them to come in handy for many reasons. The idea of having a screwdriver in there in case you do need to make minor repairs, a bottle opener, all these things are fantastic to have. And it's in one package, and it is not that heavy. So like a good Leatherman, something like that.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with multi-tools. And I never carried one when I was in the military because there was just not a lot of opportunities for me to like screw things in and whatever. But they are good for like if you have to cut wire for some reason. And if you need a backup saw, and if you need a backup pocket knife. Yeah, I mean, one is none, two is one. It's a good methodology. I think it really comes down more to what else do you have in your pack? What else are you carrying into the woods? You know what I'm saying? Because I've been under some pretty heavy weight. I mean, it really all depends on what else you're carrying versus like, do I really need this thing?
Right, exactly. So, and that was something I used to take with me hiking a lot, but then I kind of opted to not take it so much for hiking because it never really got any use.
Yeah, there's not a lot of
So
screws
it's just
to
like,
throw in on the trail.
no, there's not. But so, to second that and to move forward, I like to carry fixed blades over folding blades. Like I actually want to carry a big knife out there to do things and not a little pocket knife that folds. That's been my prerogative lately, is sticking, and that's been for years. I've had the prerogative, if I'm going out and I'm going out for a long time, I want a good fixed blade knife and not a tiny little pocket knife.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So I'll leave the pocket knife at home and just take the big blade, and I'll use that for whatever. I'll use it for cooking. I'll use it for cutting, whatever I need to do. And it's nice to have one with the sharpening stone, and that kind of brings me to the next point. Having a sharpening stone is fantastic to take with you. Mm-hmm. Whether you have I got a good setup that's a Gerber that has the sharpening stone built into the sheath. Okay. And it also has a ferro rod built into there too. So it's like, it's a combination of three things in one that can go out there.
Yeah. Right? I mean, it's a good setup. If you think you're going to be spending more than, I would say any more than 3 days to a week, you should definitely have the ability to sharpen your knife because you're going to use it. You're going to use it every day.
Right.
And you don't know what you're going to use it on. So,
and for anybody out there that thinks that, if using a knife wrong is what will dull it, like, yes, that is correct. But using a knife in general will dull it. So you do have to sharpen it. Mm-hmm. If you're using it enough, it will dull and you will need to sharpen it. End of story. So the other thing I've got into a lot over the years was, the waterproofing of items and better ways to do it. And I've landed on a very simplistic solution, and that's gallon Ziploc bags and rubber bands has been my go-to. You just squeeze all the air out of them, you rubber band them, put them in another one, squeeze all the air out of them, rubber band them again, and they are waterproof as shit. You don't have anything to worry about. And that is one of the biggest things that I've had issues with over the years was just things getting wet that you weren't expecting to get wet or getting caught in rain when you didn't know you were going to get caught in rain. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's been my simplistic go-to is the Ziploc bags with the rubber bands. And then to double down on it, when you use up the item in these bags, you now have storage for things. So if you come across some mushrooms that you think might be edible that you want to collect, you now have a collection system, right? If for some reason you need to transport more water, well, guess what? That holds a gallon now. Mm-hmm. So now you're transporting water. Like it doubles down for these other aspects, right?
Yeah, the Ziploc bags, you in the infantry, you live and die off Ziploc bags. We put everything in Ziploc bags.
Right.
Because our packs aren't, well, I don't know what they are now, but the old Alice and the old Rux, they weren't modular at all. Yeah, we had pockets on the outside, but it's basically just a hole that you cinch up at the top, throw the flap on and go. And so organization, you would start organized, but it didn't matter. Everything got thrown in. And then when you're pulling stuff out of your pack, you can just look at it. You can see through the Ziploc bag to see what's in there. And you can literally be like, nope. That's what I want.
Right. And that was part of that too, was the ease of identification because I don't know too many people. I mean, I know a few and I have them too. I don't know how many people that are actually going out and buying dry bags, like the dry sacks that you roll up and clip.
Yeah. I don't have a problem.
A couple.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with dry bags. I really don't. But, there's a saying in the hiking community and camping, if you're backpacking community, what is it? Ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain. And people just these dry bags, they're heavy. They're like a true dry bag is like this reinforced rubberized fabric. Right. And so I'll be honest with you, all I've ever done is I just take a contractor bag and I stuff it into the pack, fold it down and then cut off what I don't need. And I mean, because in the military, the issue, what they call, WP bags or waterproof bags, they're on the outside is this nylon and the inside is all like a rubber coating. They're probably the most waterproof bags you can ever find. And then oddly enough, all you do is just cinch off the top and tie a little thing around the top of it. And it keeps your bag, it'll keep your stuff dry. But, if you're using Ziploc bags and you're using a contractor bag to line your pack, you're going to be fine. Everything is going to stay dry, and the contractor bag is so much lighter than these waterproof bags.
Right. And then
that's how I roll.
On the idea of waterproofing, what I was telling you earlier is whenever I found out that a roll of toilet paper fit perfectly in a plastic Folgers can and waterproofed it, my mind was blown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, my God, it's almost like meant for it. It's like a toilet paper caddy.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
so
yeah.
Little dumb things like that you pick up over the years that just make life a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, there's I haven't met anybody that agrees. I need to do a video about this, but I've been vacuum sealing toilet paper for years.
Why?
Why? Have you ever seen have you seen half a load of Charmin or half a roll of Charmin that's been vacuum sealed?
No, I can't say that I have.
It crunches down to about like this. It looks like a sponge. Okay? And when you crack it open, when you undo that thing, it just comes right back. Really? And you could put like 2 of these in your pack. They weigh nothing. They take up 0 space. And so if you crack one open and then you keep it after you've opened it, you put it inside of a Ziploc bag, which is what we used to do like forever and ago. And something happens to that Ziploc bag, your toilet paper gets wet. You don't have to worry about it. You've got a backup one. You just Yep. It works. Nobody does this. Nobody does this
because
I don't understand
whose brain says I need to vacuum seal the toilet paper?
The guy who had toilet paper that got wet, who needed to take a dookie.
Okay, all right. So I think I am probably gonna break out the vacuum sealer here at some point and try to vacuum seal some toilet paper just because I'm fucking curious now.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
it fits. You know the vacuum bags that they sell that are sleeves. They're not like these perforated.
Oh yeah. No,
they're sleeves. Yeah, it fits right into one of those. Cut it down to the appropriate size, zip, zip, and it's in your pack.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to test the waters with the vacuum sealed toilet paper. That's something new. But to continue into these things that you actually need outside of vacuum sealed toilet paper.
No, you need this. Trust me. Anyway, next.
So duct tape is something that I take on all the camping trips. And you have all these little people that do these like little tricks with the duct tape. Like, oh, I'm going to take my little lighter and I'm going to wrap it in duct tape. That way I've got it when I need it.
It works. Right? It works.
And it works. It does. You're getting a very small amount. And I found that if I need like tape to repair things, like my kind of go-to, like I like duct tape for bigger, heavy-duty fixes. Mm-hmm. But to fix something small, I prefer electrical tape over that all the time.
Yeah.
And so I usually carry the electric tape. It's usually something that's going, right?
Yeah.
But the stuff that people are doing with the duct tape, like they're wrapping the lighters and they're adding a couple fish hooks in there and all these things. And I'm like, that's cool. In a survival situation, that could come in handy. But I know if I'm going camping and there's a potential to go fishing, I'm just going to bring some fishing shit. I'm not going to bring a survival lighter with a hook.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's kind of too, if you're specifically going on a fishing camping trip, you're obviously going to bring the fishing camping gear, right?
Yeah.
Now, the one of the big things is this: if you know you're going camping and this is not a survival situation, the odds and end things that you would think that you would need to take with you, you probably do not need to take, right? Because you're not going out there to not come back unless you're just testing gear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't opt for a gigantic freaking med bag with like everything in it, like all the things. No, I don't opt for that. I opt for basic bleed stop, basic trauma things, right?
Band-Aids and tourniquets.
Band-Aids, tourniquets, ABD pads, things like that, just like in a pack, ready to go. If something happens, you got that, you could break that out, right? Because let's be honest, if you have a big boo-boo, a big ouchie while you're out there, you're calling 911 and they're getting you the hell out of there anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's what's going to happen. Fire department's going to come get you out of the woods. Something's going to happen. But there are these incidental things like, oh, shit, I cut myself. It's bleeding pretty bad. If I could stop the bleed, I don't need to call 911. I don't need to go to the hospital. Right?
Yeah.
We're good. And things happen. You could step on something in the woods. You could brush up against something sharp. Maybe you were laying down and there was a piece of glass in the leaves you didn't see. Like, there's injuries happen, man. If it's bad enough to stop the weekend, you're not going to fix it with what's in your pack. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's kind of just the theory there. So I don't opt for a shit tons of medical supplies when we're going out.
Yeah, no, it should, like I said, a tourniquet and Band-Aids. I mean, everything else in the middle it doesn't matter.
Right. So, I feel like this is a subject that we could just keep getting in depth on, and we can keep going and going. But I mean, we are at our time limit. So do you have anything final you want to throw in there?
Zip ties.
Zip ties. Do I take zip ties? No, but I use the shit out of zip ties at the house. I don't usually take them camping.
They weigh nothing. You can carry 10 of them without having a hernia.
And what are you zip tying other than toilet paper?
Anything that breaks.
Anything that breaks.
Well, tents like to break. The grommets, they like to rip. And you can replace those with zip ties. There's a lot of different things you can do with zip ties.
Zip ties are amazing.
Totally amazing. I don't even have a zip tie story. That's how good they are.
Well, that sucks. If they're that good, you should have tons of zip tie stories.
Nah, I can't tell you all those, man.
Oh, that's going to be like a good survival episode. You're going to tell me how you saved half the world with vacuum sealed toilet paper and zip ties.
MacGyvering the shit out of this stuff.
All right. Well, for everybody out there that's listening, once again, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop us a line. It's doomsdaypodcast@gmail.com. And we will see you guys back here next week.
Bye-bye. This is an emergency action message. At approximately 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, NORAD is tracking 15 ICBM nuclear missiles inbound to the following cities: Orlando, Miami, Pittsburgh, Dover, Newark, Richland, Philadelphia, New York City, Baltimore, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Boston, Seattle, Detroit. This is an extremely deadly situation. Stay tuned. The next emergency message will be a presidential address.